My name is Dr. Ted Sutton, and I'm the founder of Sutton House Incorporated and People Can Change Ministries. Definitely a troubled youth, a middle child. I ended up hooking up with one of the roughest groups that was on the East Coast, some of the same people that they wrote the series The Wire behind. A lot of people knew my godfather, Little Melvin Williams, and I ended up being known as Crazy Ted in the streets. With both of my parents being civil rights leaders, mother worked for Medgar Evers, father marched with Dr. King, I felt a lot of pressure. In fact, a lot of the pressure at one point is what kind of pushed me in a direction, of if I can't be 100% positive, then I'm going to lower the bar, and I started actually getting involved in some things that I shouldn't have. For me, being in a situation where my principal placed a bet I wouldn't make it to 21, my counselor made the suggestion that I shouldn't attempt to go to college. The state's attorney made the statement that I should not be allowed to go back into the community. And I ended up being the keynote speaker at the same high school that principal had said I wouldn't make it to 21. Well, he was wrong. The same counselor was still working there, and I came back with my master's degree, working on my doctorate degree, and I finished on the national dean's list coming back. And also I'm waiting for my final book to be finalized as far as with From Pain to Power, along with Temporarily Insane, and I'm writing a list of all of the names and the places that I've gone around the world, and I'm going to send this whole packet to the state's attorney that made the statement that this young man should not be allowed to go back into the community. Sutton House was founded when I ended up actually changing my life. I wanted to try to make a difference because I knew that, being real, I wasn't a mediocre sinner, so I couldn't be a mediocre saint. I didn't see a lot of programs that was really focusing on some of what we as society have deemed some of our worst kids and some of our most troubled problems and different things of that nature. And so I felt the need to go after those same young people. And even when we started going into the schools, and we would take the high risk list and we turned it into the high expectation list, where we had higher expectations for young people than what some other people may have deemed them. And so for me, the focus was to work with some of the gangbangers, some of the young men who've made some mistakes, some of the ones who were in the juvenile detention center, and because I felt that if we could help them to see life a little bit different and give them hope, that we could actually make a difference. And that's why, I just felt that was necessary to do, to go after some of the young men that society has given up on. Well, if I was to share, just some people who I have mentored, who I have been there for. One young man is Brendan, and he was actually used to be with the Bloods, used to be with Sex, Money, Murder. Started working with him. He ended up changing his life around, and he received Most Valued Employee for all charter schools in Maryland, and then he received the award for Baltimore's Hometown Hero. But I would say probably the most known young man would probably be the singer Mario. So most people know him when he was singing You Should Let Me Love You, or the movie he was in, Step It Up, and Freedom Riders. But I knew him when he was in my basement at 7 and 8 years old, and I was taking him into the studio and letting him kind of ride shotgun with me when I had my crew and just being around. But I felt like I had been there for him, and I knew his family very well. I knew his mother very well. She was a friend of mine, And, and actually I was one of the first people to ever take him into a studio, actual formal studio, and one of the first people to really see the gift that he had at a young age. I feel good to just still even have that, connection with him. If you're somebody that people have given up on, if you're somebody that felt like you were all out of options and don't have no plan B set in place, I'm here to let you know that people can change. I'm here to let you know that there's life past mistakes. And even if you have to fall forward. And even if you have to spin around and fall on your back, if you fall on your back, if you can look up, you can get up. So I'm giving you these words to let you know. And don't worry about even the fake friends, because I used to always say that I would rather have 4 quarters in my pocket than 100 pennies. Deal with what's real. And if you don't have somebody to encourage you, there may have to be just you encouraging yourself. You might have to look in the mirror and say, you know what, I'm not going to just play the game today and just eat a bowl of cereal and sit on this couch and be depressed about why everybody else is living their life. You might have to look in the mirror and say, nah, today I'm going to fight for something. I'm going to fight for my life. I'm going to fight for my children. I'm going to fight for, I want to see things different out here. And I want to see life that's better. The way that you're treated shouldn't be about how much money is in your bank account. And the character means everything. So I would definitely share that message with you. And if you are running out of options, you call Dr. Ted Freedom Fighter Sutton, and I support this message. I'm out of here.